This is the first video in a new series that I'm tentatively titling Let Me Hold Your Hand, because so many of you have asked for a basic introduction to start your investment journey. I'm not a financial advisor, and you should definitely do your own research, but I'm going to cover a couple of basics, and we're going to talk about the mechanics of investing. Often when finance pros and just general adults talk about investing, they throw in a lot of vague words and terms, and you'll see them parroted around in various different ways, and you're just expected to know what they mean. So what exactly do we mean when we refer to a stock? Stock is a small portion of a company, and owning a stock is like being a part owner. You may only own like 1/10,000th of a company with an individual stock, but that's what it is. The price of a stock is determined by how valuable it is to other people. Larger, older, more recognizable, and more profitable a company is, the more likely it is to expand or become more profitable generally means that an individual stock is likely to be more expensive, while smaller, newer, or shrinking companies are going to be cheaper. That makes sense. Individual stock prices for a company will change day to day, a couple percentage points up and down. What you're really looking for is an upward trajectory over the long term and not necessarily everyday gains. If you've ever tried to lose weight, it's kind of the same concept. Just because you're up 0.2 pounds today doesn't mean that you've completely failed. It's about long-term consistent progress. While I usually buy individual stocks on this channel, you also have the option to buy ETFs, or electronically traded funds. These are like stock bundles, and they allow you to instantly diversify within a sector or a theme. Sometimes they're themed by region or country, it's by what they do. So for example, instead of buying one share of a solar power company, you can buy like 1/10 of a share in like 10 different solar companies. This is often seen as safer, like you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket. It's a totally legitimate strategy. There's nothing wrong with it. I just have more fun doing it my way, and I'm doing pretty well, so I don't want to change. You can also buy bonds. These are loans, usually to government entities, and you get interest back on those. I personally don't screw with bonds. If you think I should, let me know. So how do you actually invest? If you want to get into it, you open up a brokerage account. These are accounts that allow you to buy and sell individual stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, stuff like that. There are a bunch of different options out there nowadays. I show my Ally and my Robinhood accounts, but they all work the same way. A bunch of options like Fidelity, Transamerica, Charles Schwab, even though they're dicks. You may already have a brokerage account set up through your employer if you have a 401k, a 503b, something like that. Just investing through your employer is a great option if you're not quite ready to take the leap into individually actively managing any accounts. One of the things I like to talk about often is how a Republican presidency is, in my opinion, and again, I am an amateur, the absolute best time to invest for your future. We often see a poorer economy, things are stalled, and then it picks up during a Democrat. It doesn't feel like it now, and it will take some time to see the actual fruit of your labors, but this can seriously jumpstart or accelerate your retirement, long-term savings, anything like that. It's really important, guys. This is why I'm talking to you. It's really important that you don't become old and broke. I personally throw a ridiculous amount of money at my employer-sponsored investments. That my take-home pay is the same as it was when I made $10 an hour. I might be going overboard. Anyway, all of the brokerage firms, all those accounts and apps, they work basically the same way and all have the same kind of functionality. As long as you don't get some random app out of the store that's got like 400 5-star reviews and that's it, you're probably going to be fine. If you want to go with some weird app, I would highly suggest that you go to Reddit and look at some reviews before you just download some kind of spyware. I don't use any of the features outside of the basic ones for any account, generally across the board. Or pay for an additional bump or whatever. I don't think that I really need to be trading outside of normal market hours anyway, or whatever it is that they're trying to sell. Setting up the accounts are really, really easy on purpose. You do generally need a picture ID and some sort of social security number or its equivalent, as well as your bank account and routing number. If you have a single check, it's those numbers at the bottom. Often they'll send you a couple pennies to your bank account and then claw them back just to make sure that you have a legitimate bank account. But otherwise, it's a mostly pain-free, pretty quick process. So yeah, let me know if this answered your questions or if it created any more. I have a comment section. Follow along for more in this series.